What can you share around specifically pressing injuries? I feel like you've probably seen it all at this point since you've been doing this work with musicians and non-musicians. But for our musician listeners, what can you say around some of the more pressing injuries and what are some things that we can do to help either prevent them or support them in not getting worse?
Yeah, I think there's two big parts of that. The first part is that teachers need to know more and do better because I think the mindset that we instill upon young people can either be really supportive and it can also be really destructive.
Mhm.
And because it helps them frame pain and it helps them frame how to practice. So I'm sure you had a mix of positive and negative growing up. I had some teachers that were really good about saying, take a break when you find yourself wandering, don't play through pain. And then I also had teachers who were not good. And so I think that's kind of step one is that, especially if we're dealing with adults that are working with younger people, we need to know more about the body so that we can help our students, so that we can identify when it might be a playing issue and when it might be something that they need to see a doctor for that is compounding a bunch of other stuff. And then I think for young people or musicians of any age, is having a bit of a more refined understanding of what pain is and what the different symptoms are. So that might mean, is it discomfort, meaning fatigue? Is it pain, as in sharp pain? Is it numbness? Is it tingling? Like starting to open up your sensory experience about what is pain and having almost a file folder of like, this is productive discomfort, or this means I need to stop and like go take an Epsom salt bath and go, seek some help. So I think starting to have that conversation both with yourself and also with your students if you're working with them in that capacity, I think is kind of step one. There is a very clear like warning signs of injury, which I believe is numbing, tingling, um, pain that persists way after playing. So meaning that you might have pain in your fingers, wrist, or shoulder way after rehearsal, or it's something that really lingers. You're also looking at nerve pain, so starting to understand nerve pain versus like soft tissue pain. Um, One of the things I see for a lot of people is neck and jaw stuff. So
Mhm.
letting that percolate and not really dealing with it, and then having it kind of bite you in the butt later down the line. So those are kind of my big broad sweeps, but I would love for our pedagogical side to do better in how we tell young people or professionals how to practice for auditions, competitions, school, whatever.
There's like 20 things I want to follow up on, but which is why I knew you'd be a phenomenal guest. Can you say more about why you think it's important that it start from the teachers, from like the pedagogy side, while also not expecting all teachers to be as excited about body awareness, right? It's like
Yeah.
they're there to just already teach their students how to play the instrument and how to learn the notes. And that's all very important, but say more about why this other piece is important as well.
Yeah, I don't think everyone needs to be the level of body nerd that I am or that you are, because you are too. And I think
Big nerd.
like, and I don't think people need to be as excited about the nervous system or any of those things, but I do think it is really important to understand how to teach your students like sitting and standing. I have worked with a lot of cellists over the years who have gotten kind of vague, flowery language about how the pelvis works. And then they like see what a pelvis looks like and they're like, I was told about like a bowl of sand. And I'm like, but you didn't, they didn't tell you more. And they're like, no. And I was like, okay, so that's not helpful. I think we need to have better language for that. And that is very basic. Is like how can you help students stand? How can you help them sit? If you as a teacher can't identify, I would say like excess tension in one of your students, that's going to have a technical ramification. I think the thing that gets me is that you don't have to be a body nerd, but there is very much a technical ramification of different body problems. If a
Mhm.
student doesn't breathe very much while playing, even if it's a string instrument, that's going to affect their sound. If they clench their jaw or have a setup with an upper string instrument that doesn't work for them, that's going to accept their impact sound shifting, all of these things. So it's like whether or not you are really into that, there is such a technical correlation with all of these things. And even if you're not that interested in injuries, all of them are going to affect how somebody plays. And so I think it is of interest to everyone to learn a little bit about it, and how some of the things you were taught, how I was taught, maybe doesn't work for everybody.
Yes.